Wonderful. Well, officially, welcome to Coffee with DC. We're super excited to be talking about Costa Rica today, a destination very, very close to my heart. And I'll be today's host for the event. My name's Lynn. I've been a travel specialist with Discover Core for about 3 years now. I have called Costa Rica my home since 2018, but I am originally from Canada. And I just absolutely love Costa Rica. I have been there for, many years, and every single week I find something new that I love about the place, the culture, the food, the locations. I recently climbed Costa Rica's highest mountain called Chiripo, and that also changed my whole perspective on the environments that exist in Costa Rica. For any of you who are tuned in a few minutes ago, I was asking Priscilla, who's on the ground right now there. I'm currently visiting California before I head to Bali, but the weather is just always so different in Costa Rica. But also the climates, the landscapes. It's a small country, but extremely diverse in every way. So yeah, just super thrilled to have a chance to talk about this destination in more depth. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to my colleague Layla to give an introduction to herself as well.
Hi, I am Layla. I'm a coordinator for Discover Core. I've been with the company for about a year, and I'm located in Oregon, but originally from Los Angeles. I am again a coordinator for Costa Rica and a couple other countries as well, including Vietnam, Bali, Tanzania, just to list a few. But yes, Costa Rica is also pretty close to my heart. I lived there for about a year and a half, 10 years ago, and was lucky enough to go with DC in March to revisit and see. And it reminded me of like how beautiful of a country it is, and everyone is just um, so nice and heartwarming, and I don't know, it's just so close to my heart as well. So if you do get the chance to go to Costa Rica and experience how beautiful and magical it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I was so grateful we got to see each other as well. Working remotely is awesome, but being able to see your colleagues in person makes it all the better when you work in the travel world. Um, but yeah, I'm super excited to have Priscilla, our director, and also original guide. You've been with Discover Core for so long and bring so much experience and heart to everything we do in Costa Rica. So Priscilla, please introduce yourself and how long you've been working in the tourism industry.
Well, hello everybody, and thank you for being here with us. I'm here with my favorite coffee, the best coffee in the world, Costa Rican coffee, of course.
Yep.
My name is Priscila Alvarado. I am born, raised in Costa Rica. I'm from the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. I'm a biologist, and I've been working as a tour director since I was in college. I I came to the DC family, Discover Core family, over 10 years ago, and it's been an incredible journey and adventure, meeting people from all over and showing them how beautiful my country is, which I never take for granted.
Mhm.
So, because it is an honor, I feel like like an ambassador of Costa Rica when I'm with a group. So I always try to do my best, and that everybody the last day will leave, wanting to come back.
Absolutely. No, I have no doubt that you have that effect on our travelers, and we've seen it happen before where, we have multiple trips to Costa Rica, which we're going to get into in a second, and some, do one of our trips and then are interested to come back and do a different one because there really is just such diversity, and we're really grateful to have you and your perspective, Priscilla. I'm really excited to go through all of the itineraries. So before we jump into the theme of today, just wanted for anybody that's new to Discover Core, that's just checking us out for the first time, we have been operating, like Priscilla said, for 10 years, over a decade now, offering what we like to call vacations with purpose. Currently, we work in over 20 different countries. Also, some destinations have multiple itineraries, and in Costa Rica is one of them. So this is our portfolio. Essentially, there's three trips that we're currently offering in Costa Rica. One called the Family Volunteer Adventure. Then we have the Sea Turtle Initiative trip, and finally the Eco Rainforest Adventure. All of them are 8 days, 7 nights. So I'm going to have Priscilla here just walk through each of them at a high level. Afterwards as well, when we send the recording, we always include the PDF versions of the itinerary in that email. So those are downloadable and you can actually see the day-by-day structure in them. But I think it's just very helpful to talk through it and hear, you know, the woman who actually helped develop these itineraries speak to them and the reason why they're kind of built out each way. So Priscilla, let's start with the family volunteer adventures. This is one of our most popular trip options. Can you walk us through and just give us the highlights of this itinerary?
Yes, of course. The family volunteer is like the star of the tours that we have in Costa Rica. This tour is very special because it's basically very focused in giving back. So if you want to travel with your family and you still want to have like adventure, stay in beautiful accommodations and do all the experience, all the nature activities, but you like to give back and to add that special, purpose to your trip, working with local people, supporting environmental programs in the country. I think this trip is for you. So basically, this trip starts in Fortuna, which is the volcano that is in the picture, this third picture. And it's a beautiful area with hot springs. And over there, we have the probability of seeing Arenal volcano clear, which you never know if it's going to happen or not, but we're always hoping to do it. And a lot of the hands-on part of the trip happens there. So we visit a school, we have lunch with a family, we have a cooking demonstration, and well, not really a demonstration because we actually cook part of our lunch and we have lunch in the house of a family, which is something very special that not all the tour companies expose their travelers to. So this trip is designed thinking, in all these unique experiences that will make you feel closer to the culture and to have like a better understanding of the country that you're visiting and actually meeting the people, which is something very special. If you travel to a country, you want to meet the people, you want to understand what they do, how do they live, what do they eat, right? So this is very, very important part of this family volunteer adventure. So we spend 2 nights in Fortuna, then we go to the cloud forest of Monteverde, where all the adrenaline happens because you have the opportunity to zip line, to do the hanging bridges. You have a night tour over there to expose you to all these nocturnal wildlife animals that you can only see at night because that's their behavior. And just being in the cloud forest when it's dark is an adventure itself. And then, of course, we end at the beach. What a better way to end up at a trip in Costa Rica than with beautiful sunsets. And we go to the beach that is beautiful. We take you to a very nice, you have like options at this point where you can do whitewater rafting or you can visit a national park that is called Manuel Antonio, that is a very famous national park in Costa Rica, where it's like where the beach meets the monkeys, because it's a very popular place where you can see lots of different species of monkeys on slopes, but one of the most beautiful beaches is there. And actually, I don't know if you ever heard or read a book that is called 1,000 Places to See Before You Die. Manuel Antonio is mentioned in that book. So the family volunteer, it's like a perfect combination from volcano, cloud forest to the beach, where you will be exposed to the local culture and where one full day you're going to be volunteering in an environmental facility that is called the Kids Saving the Rainforest, where our groups are going to be involved in different tasks, where they're going to protect, this place protects like animals that were kept illegally as pets, because in Costa Rica, you cannot have wild animals as pets, it's illegal, or animals that have been hit by a car or electrocuted and survived. They take all these animals to rescue centers. So we have a full day where we visit this place not as a tourist but as a volunteer. So it's the day where the families really bond, and you know it's very rewarding at the end of the day because you gave back, you know, to a place that has a meaning, that is doing something to help the environment and wildlife, which is of course something that we promote and we want to, you know, keep having in our trips and exposing our groups to.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kids Save the Rainforest, was able to do a lot more research on them recently, and just learning the story of that it was founded by kids, and now it's built into this like kind of global NGO, much beyond even Costa Rica, which is really inspiring. And hearing about the opportunity to get a behind the scenes sort of look into the organization and do the volunteering with the prepping of the food that the animals, eat, and kind of getting that day in the life. I think for, any family that is looking for a trip that might inspire your kid to, do more purposeful work as well. I think this trip is such a great fit, along with the topics of reforestation and tree planting. It really is, like Priscilla said, the star trip, or I've called it like the best hits of Costa Rica. It's kind of going to, the more known, like if you Google Costa Rica, people are going to talk about La Fortuna, people are going to talk about Monteverde and Manuel Antonio. Absolutely. I love all of those locations. So you really get a wide range of environments in this trip that's just so amazing. You get the volcano, beach, forest, you really, really get it all. So thank you for that amazing overview, Priscilla. So I know the Sea Turtle Initiative trip, this one is, we even consider it more a grassroots experience when it comes to the opportunity to do a little bit more volunteer hours if we had to divide it, by time compared to the family volunteer adventure trip. But walk us through this trip, and give us the high level, Priscilla.
This trip is very different from the rest. It is very special, but it's also very important for people to understand what it is about, right?
Mhm.
Because this trip is, well, first of all, it's basically in one province of Costa Rica that is called Guanacaste. So you fly to Guanacaste, to Liberia, Guanacaste, and you departure from the same place. So you're staying in one province, okay? But this province, it's a province that has beaches, volcanoes, mountains. So during the tour, you're going to have the experience of all this, but in the same province, okay? Um, this tour goes to beautiful hotels. So the accommodations of this tour are a little bit more upscale in some kind of way. Beautiful hotels, so you have all the amenities. You stay in very comfort and beautiful settings, where you can relax and really enjoy beautiful hotels like we have in Costa Rica. And then the most important part of the tour is the Sea Turtle program that we support, where you will be involved with local biologists and volunteers from all over the world that are there. And they patrol the beach at night because it is during nighttime that the sea turtles come to lay their eggs. The species of turtle that is in that area is the olive ridley turtle, which has a very important process and very different from other species of sea turtles that is called arribadas, which means that there's like thousands, hundreds or thousands of turtles coming to the same beach at the same time. So they're all, if you look like at pictures, if you Google ostional, for example, or olive ridley turtle, arribadas, Costa Rica, you will see like thousands of turtles. Is really, really impressive. Or hundreds of turtles at the same time. Of course, this is something that you never know when it's going to happen. All the nights are different. Remember that this is a natural event, right? I wish we could call the turtles, right? and hey, we're here with a group, please come over. We need 3,000 of you, but it doesn't work that way, right? Some nights we just get, I've been there, and some nights we saw many, other nights we just saw a couple. And I even experienced one night where we patrolled the beach and we didn't see any, right? But it is a tour where you walk the beach with local experts that explain to you why are you doing this and why is this important, patrolling beach. When we find the turtles, we experience all the scientific data that they collect. They measure the turtles, and they tag the turtles, and they ask us to help, taking notes, or as long that it's safe that we are involved, right? Because they're wearing like gloves. They know where to touch the turtle. They know when to touch the turtle. So of course we want our groups to learn, to witness this, but at the same time we want to be respectful, right? And we want to make sure that we're not doing any kind of harm. We're not there for that, right? So the local experts will walk us through what is okay to do, what is not, right? But we're there, and just being there is very special. And these walks through the beach, right? It demands a little bit physical activity, right? Because the beach, the sand is a little bit soft, and you have to be walking, and it is dark. There's no illumination, and we're not allowed to have flashlights all the time on because the turtles are very sensitive to lights. So we want to make sure that we're not doing an impact while we're walking the beach, right? We're there to protect. We are there to learn, to help collect all the data that they need to study the behavior and the natural history of the sea turtles and all this. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we're following, right, all the instructions, right? But you are walking sometimes for more than 2 hours, right? We have breaks, of course, and it is all flat. And at night, it is breezy. But it's very important to have like that in mind, and that adventure spirit, because some nights are beautiful, some nights are raining a little bit, and turtles come every night, doesn't matter what. It can be raining, it can be full moon, it could be super dark. We can have a sky with millions of stars. Turtles come every night. And we have to patrol the beach every night, because that is the purpose of this tour, right? That we're going to be out there at night, that we're going to be helping. And we go to different beaches, which I thought it was very cool, because we're not going to the same place every night. And besides the beach patrol at night, what do we do during the day, right? Of course, we're going to be busy during the day. We're going to help you rest, of course. You're staying, again, in beautiful accommodations with swimming pools, with very nice rooms, everything that you need to have that comfy, nice stay. But also, we visit a lot of community projects. And we have very cool community projects in the area where we visit, like a gentleman who I think he was from New York. He came to Costa Rica, married a Costa
Jungle Mike.
Rican. Mike, yes, he retired, and he had like an outdoor butterfly garden, and he produces his own honey. And he explains everything that he's doing. We have lunch there, a very authentic lunch made by his wife. And we're there, listening to his story of how he quit, his job in the corporate world, and just immerse himself in the mountains of Costa Rica in the middle of nowhere, which is amazing, even to me as a Costa Rican, that somebody will take that risk in their lives, right? And they're so happy. And so we visit this project. We visit also, there's like a fisherman community, and we visit them. They explain to us. We plant a tree to give back to the Discover Core Reforestation Program. So we're in this area, very focused in the community project, Sea Turtles. And then we take you to the mountains, to a beautiful hotel that is located very close to an active volcano, and they have their own hot springs. So imagine, right, after all this hard work, walking the beach, looking for these turtles. You end in this place where they have a steam room, they have hot springs, you have a full day adventure over there where you do horseback riding, zip line, tubing. So it's very fun trip, but yes, it is very focused at the beginning in the sea turtle part of it. And it requires walking the beach at night, no matter the conditions. Of course, if it's lightning or things that are not considered to be safe, we will never risk, right? Safe is always first, right? And we will always take care of our groups. But it is very important if somebody's coming to these kind of trips that they understand the purpose of the trips. And the purpose of this trip is to patrol, is to walk, is to give back, is to learn, is to be dirty, to be sweaty, to be wet, right? And very adventurous and big volunteer part. But let me tell you that all the families that I've met that did this experience, at the end, they told me they felt so good they did it. They felt like they really learned something. They felt like they were giving back because we learn about climate change, about how sea turtles and the ocean and all the marine species of animals are suffering, corals, what we can do, right? What we can do as human beings when we get back home to help a little bit. We can't change the reality, but yes, there are things that we can do. So it's a very eye-opening experience and very recommended for people that are into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a unique opportunity to get up close and personal and really provide that like give back element and have a new respect for those who do this as a full-time sort of job, right? This monitoring and preserving of these amazing species. I have had a chance to do the night patrols before, and it really is just so magical. The turtles really do feel prehistoric as well. Like it feels like you're connecting to a past that, we often don't think about on a day-to-day basis in the modern world, and seeing them come up and lay their eggs, and it really is magical. But I think it's anyone that's considering this trip, we love to highlight this element of volunteering and making sure that's what you're up for. And I think Priscilla did a perfect job of explaining the way we balance it out, having the volunteering, but also ending with this amazing opportunity to relax and recuperate. And that's why we call them again vacations with purpose, because we always add that element of recharging one's battery as well, and while also not forgetting to give back to the amazing place that's welcoming us into the land and into the home. So thank you for that, Priscilla. Now, I would love for you to walk us through our final sort of portfolio one of the Eco Rainforest Adventure. This is a fun photo of Layla, actually, who was just on the trip in March with her group. So shout out to Layla for this awesome.
Yeah, in front of
No.
POAS. It was very
Yeah,
nice.
so awesome. Yeah, so Priscilla, tell us about this trip, because I know it is really also different from the others. So.
Very different. I did this trip. I think I was the first guide who ran it, and then we had Leila went with Andres. By the way, we have an amazing team in Costa Rica of tour directors. Everybody is so passionate, knowledgeable, and very friendly. So if you come, just know that you're going to be well taken care of. Our staff, our team is really amazing. Everybody. Yeah, this tour, I love this tour. I love all the tours for different reasons, but I really, really like this one. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, first, again, this is another example of a tour where we have a very nice combination of accommodations. So you start in the mountains of just maybe less than an hour away from the airport in a beautiful hotel that is called Sandari, with an amazing view of the mountains and the cities of Costa Rica. So you're near the city, but you're not, you're up in the mountains. So you have, that silence factor. You have that peaceful factor of being around the mountains. And also the hotel, the decoration of the hotel is a lot of fun. It's very colorful, very unique place. So the first time I went, I was like, what is this place? This is really different. I've been in so many hotels in my life, you can imagine. And I was like, but this hotel is very unique. And I found out that the owners is like an architecture and interior design. And I was like, okay, now it makes sense. Like this place, every single corner, you have something to look at. Like it's so beautiful, the decoration, so colorful, so different. The rooms are breathtaking and you have a lot of space. You have, they have also beautiful pools. They have trails where you can walk around their property. And depending on the weather conditions, because of course the paths can get really muddy, you can access some waterfalls that are around the hotel, which is very cool. That right in your hotel, you can walk a couple of minutes and get to a waterfall, right? So it's really amazing. And so this place is just itself, it's an experience itself, right? So our group starts there, which I think is it's a great beginning. Um, we take you to this beautiful place where you're for 2 nights, and then you go to you do like day tours, and you come back right to your amazing hotel. Is you visit Poás volcano, which is a volcano that right now is very active in Costa Rica, with a lot of eruptions. It's been closed a couple of days. Then they wait until the activity is, it is safe to visit the national park again. So in Costa Rica, by the way, we have the National Institute of Volcanologists. They are it's a very prestigious institution, part of one of the main public universities of Costa Rica. They keep track of all of our volcanoes and they send alerts. And we know, right, when it is safe or not to visit these sites. The first picture, that's the Poás volcano. And this is one of the few volcanoes in the world where you can walk and get to a place like a lookout point where with luck, again, you can see the crater clear. Because remember that a lot of these volcanoes, they have their own microclimate. Sometimes the conditions don't let you see in the moment that you get there. It's cloudy, it's foggy. Sometimes you see it all the time, right? So just like many other places of the world, that there's a very important or famous place and you're hoping to see it, but sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes it's clear. It's just like that. But the volcano, it's very high up. It's like 9,000 feet above sea level. It's a cloud forest. So you have to walk a little bit through the trails of the park to reach the lookout point where you're hoping to see the crater clear, right? That is the volcano visit. And then we take you to a coffee tour. Imagine Costa Rica coffee is one of the best, right? So you're gonna go to a farm and you're gonna walk with a local expert, a local guide that is gonna teach you all the process of coffee from the moment they plant it to the moment they harvest it to roasting. And you're gonna sample different kinds of coffee. So this tour is a lot of fun. And I always tell my groups after a coffee tour, when you finish this tour, I promise you, tomorrow morning, when you wake up and you have your cup of coffee, you're gonna look at it differently. It's not the same. Coffee changes completely after this tour. So you do the coffee tour, which is of course very, very nice in Costa Rica. And these are part of the activities that you're going to begin with. Located near in this beautiful hotel up in the mountains near the cities of San Jose. And then you move to the middle picture, which is this glamping site, Rafiki. The first time I went there, I was like, where are we going? Right? I was like, where is this place? How somebody thought to build this place here in the middle of nowhere? So it was such an adventure, even for me, just to get there. And I was, so surprised. Somebody will build a glamping hotel in the middle of the mountains. You have to drive through the African palm plantations. You have a river next to it. You're like driving along a river, and then you get to this place, and it is such a unique place. So Rafiki is this glamping hotel. You know, glamping, it became very popular in Costa Rica, and I heard that in many other places of the world. So it is basically like giving you the experience of like camping, right? In a tent, just that you have all the amenities of a hotel room in your tent. So you have your own bathroom, you have beautiful beds with very nice mattress, you have a fan. In this case, there's no air conditioning. During the day, the area is a little bit warm, but if you notice at the picture, everything is very open and you can open your tent. And at night, the temperature drops a little bit and it's cooler. You have this porch with rocking chairs where you can sit and just look at the vegetation. At night, you hear the frogs, the insects. In the morning, the birds will wake you up. So every time I go to Rafiki, I always tell everybody, if I don't know what you're coming from, I don't know if you're and I think I told Leila this. I don't know if you're coming from a lot of work, a lot of stress. I don't know what's happening in your life, but let me tell you, in Rafiki, use this time to disconnect. Use this time to immerse yourself with nature, open your senses, embrace, you know, the calls of the animals. These kind of places are very rare to find. And we're here for 2 nights. So I don't know what's in your mind, let it go. Here, relax and enjoy the forest. Enjoy it.
And I will
And
say, oh, I just
yeah,
wanted to mention Rafiki for me on the trip was definitely the highlight. It was
okay.
exactly like Priscilla's describing. It's like a little oasis. You're driving, you're like, where are we going? We're going into the middle of the jungle, and all of a sudden it opens up and there's Rafiki. And exactly like she described, in the morning you wake up with the sounds of birds. You also, I'm sure she's about to say, but you go whitewater rafting. That was another highlight. It was amazing. I would love to go back there any day. Yeah.
I always tell the owner, it's a South African married with a Costa Rican. Notice how a lot of people come and they married here. So maybe if you're single, who knows, right? You come and you will find your better half here, right? So he wanted to recreate a South African safari.
Right.
That's what his inspiration.
Yeah.
And I told him, you know what? You did it. This place
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
amazing. This
Hmm.
place is amazing. So, and the whitewater rafting of this place is very different. I've done,
Hmm.
again, many whitewater rafting in Costa Rica, love them all. But something that I love about Rafiki's whitewater rafting, you stop your raft like in the halfway through and you go to a waterfall. I've
Hmm.
never seen something like that while in a rafting trip. So when I did that, I was like, this is really different. This is unique. This is what sets this rafting apart from other
Right.
rafting experiences in Costa Rica. So I really love that part. They give you like a snack halfway,
Hmm.
and then you
Hmm.
go to a waterfall. You can swim in the water, like underneath, of course, being careful, of course. And then you go back and you continue rafting. I was like, what is this? This is perfect.
Hmm.
And you then there is a very unique lunch, the kind of lunch meals that I love because you have lunch with a family. And it's a beautiful couple from a very small, the only small community near the hotel, because this hotel is again in the middle of nowhere. There's no towns there, there are no cities there. It's the hotel and the forest. So there's a small community that is like 30 minutes away, and that's where we take our groups for lunch after rafting. And it's like the most authentic meal, Costa Rican style. Plantains, rice, beans, the most amazing vegetables. And the house where we're having lunch, they have like a medicinal plants. They have like fruit trees, so we can walk our groups and show them around. And you know, it's very nice to not only go to a place and eat, but to go to a place that is, you know, family owned and to see all these other things that they have and that they call life. That's their life every day. They wake up in the morning, they grab the leaves of a tree and they make their tea. They, in the afternoon, they want a fruit, they go to the tree and they get a mango, whatever they have in season, and they eat it just like that, right? So I think that is very special. And besides whitewater rafting in Rafiki, they give you like kind of an introduction of how they started, which is very nice. They walk you very to the trails of the hotel, and you're gonna set like a trap camera where they try to capture images of any nocturnal wildlife, any animal that is at night, and that camera is gonna stay there during our 2 days. And the morning before we leave, they bring the camera and they try to show us if there was any image, any animal around, which is very cool. You have a night tour there also. So it's very nice to walk around the grounds, the trails of Rafiki looking for nocturnal species. I imagine these pictures over there are part of it, right? So you have the northern Tamandua Sea, which is an anteater. Whoever saw that, let me tell you, because that's not easy to see, and many other species of animals that you can see at night. And by the way, Rafiki's the night tour guide, I thought was one of the best guides I've ever had for a night tour. I really like him, and he's from the area. All the workers of Rafiki are from this community, so they are supporting the local economy of a very remote community where there's not a lot of job opportunities, and we are taking you there. So you are giving back, to the economy of small places like that, which is very special also when you travel, to feel like you are giving back, right? And that you're supporting the local economy. So after Rafiki, we take you to the beach again, which is a beautiful area that during COVID, it became very popular. It's called Dominical Anuvita. It's South Pacific of Costa Rica, very close to the border with Panama. And over there, if you're a beach person, there's like a different beach where you can go every single day. So many different beaches over there. And we enjoy a beautiful boat ride in a river where we will have more opportunities to see different species of animals. And of course, the beach, the sunsets, getting in the water, staying in a beautiful beach resort with all the amenities that you need to feel comfy and, and to enter experience a little bit more, relax, and with this beautiful beach vibe that these towns have to offer. And these towns where we end up this tour, they're very famous for wellness. A lot of people are going there. There's a lot of people who go there who, just immerse themselves in different retreat programs, or they go, it's very common to see people at the beach practicing stretching, doing different kinds of yoga or surfing, or, it's a very big wellness destination in Costa Rica. So I always tell my groups, this, if people come here for that, there's a reason for it. So let's make sure that we also embrace, these beach towns and try also to learn to relax, because nowadays you have to kind of teach people how to relax. Everybody's so busy all the time. And we need to remember that, the vacations are to experience, to have fun, to connect, to meet new people. But at the same time, there are moments where you need to relax, right? And let go of whatever you're carrying, so you can recharge yourself before you get back to reality.
Absolutely. No, Costa Rica is that lesson. A lot of people ask me, how has living in Costa Rica changed you in different ways? And I think it's just really helped me become a more balanced human being that tries to, put put myself equally alongside work, and making sure that there's time and space to relax and recharge one's battery, and not always have a plan every single day. You can just let the day unfold and also see the beautiful moments. And in nature, being so immersed in nature helps you do that. Like you're just constantly observing around you. And um, it's such an important lesson that I think we all have to learn. And it's beautiful that our trip allows the opportunity to connect with those elements of life. I know we're getting kind of close to time, and I want to be able to give everyone a chance for the Q&A. So I'll just recap a little bit. I know Priscilla has done an amazing job of talking about the impact you'll have on these trips. So really everyone is very different, but just as a review, there's opportunities to do tree planting, opportunities to work with the turtles doing the night patrol, opportunities to visit kids saving the rainforest and do a behind the scenes visit to an animal rescue center that does really incredible, inspiring work. And then of course visiting, yeah, local producers. And then I love that Priscilla also mentioned this idea of, local economic activation. A lot of areas in the that we go to visit in all of our tours, the simple giving, money towards their projects as a part of our trip experience is a huge benefit to them so that they can continue their operations, whether or not we're traveling there at the moment, right? So I think that's an amazing point to also address. Would love for Priscilla to talk about Costa Rican food. I have so many favorites. I couldn't decide what to put in here, but would love for you to just kind of give people a reminder of what Costa Rican cuisine is all about.
I'm just having flashbacks of the picture with the coconut, the coconuts.
Oh.
That was one of my groups, and we all put our hands together, right, like to cheers with the coconut, right, and that was very nice. So, well, Costa Rican food. I always tell our groups when you travel to another country to experience the food, the local cuisine is part of your experience. So I know that we have families with kids, with teenagers, and maybe sometimes they're picky eaters. And so we always try, right, to make them try things, but we get that everybody is different. But it's very, very important to explain that, right, to all the members of your family that you're traveling with, that they're traveling to a different country, and that here in Costa Rica, rice beans is like our everyday, and we eat a lot of rice and beans, a lot of plantain, very fresh salad. We are so blessed with our food because Costa Rica produces a lot of the vegetables and fruits. We have so many mountains, so many areas with different elevations that give us the opportunity to grow what we eat. So we import very little. And here, for example, we have like the traditional meal. It's called casado, which is rice, beans, plantain, vegetable salad, and then you change the protein. So it can be casado con pollo with chicken, with fish, vegetarian, right? By the way, for vegetarians, there's always options, so people don't have to worry, or vegans, or if you have any food allergy, any kind of restriction, we get that information in advance, and we make sure that you are accommodated, that you feel included with the meals, that we have options for you. That is very important for us also, that everybody will have, this experience. But something special about Discover Core trips, many tour companies, I'm a freelance, right? I work mostly with Discover Core, but I work with other companies. Many tour companies, what you get when you travel is fixed menus. And you get what you get. Maybe they will ask you what kind of protein you want, fish, chicken, beef, and that's it. With us, we always give you options. We always try to take you to restaurants, and we give you like several, at least 3 options where you can choose from. So we want to make sure that our groups are feeling that they're eating, locally, but at the same time, we get that sometimes we have younger members that can get tired of the rice and the beans. So there will be always options for the little ones also, so they can eat. We want to make sure that they eat. They're going to be doing a lot. They're going to be active. So we want them to stay healthy. But you have to be sure that you're going to be well fed. Actually, it's a lot of food, and everything is fresh and safe to eat. Even water is safe to drink in Costa Rica. I don't know if you knew that. In many countries, you cannot even shower with, and you have to be careful opening your mouth when you shower. Here, you can drink the water from the tap. Salads, fruits, vegetables, in all the places that we take you is safe to eat. So, what a better way than traveling, not having to worry all the time about what you should be eating or not.
Exactly. It's a huge win for Costa Rica, and I always am so sort of proud to tell people that Costa Rica has, a safe water system that's very rare in Central America or Latin America in general. So, yeah, huge shout out. I think we've talked a lot about these unique encounters, you get to have with wildlife. So I'll just skip through. There's some fun other photos here as well from the group. Um, I just want to highlight as well, again, for all of our portfolio of trips, you have an amazing opportunity to go to so many different hotels that are really rated 4 and 5 star. So throughout your whole stay with us in Costa Rica, you can really expect, this really nice level of comfort while we're, of course, doing some things maybe outside one's typical comfort zone on the trips during the day. You can have this opportunity to really relax and rest in the night so that you can get ready for everything we have planned for you. Um, and I'm not sure, are these photos blurry for you? I think yeah, that's so strange. That's never happened before. So apologies everyone for the quality of the photos just not loading right now. Um, but I will pass it over to Layla to provide some context on the pre-departure support that we give you if you do sign up for one of our trips.
Yes. So we have a travel portal. You're able to access it before you sign up for a trip if you want us to see some details. But once you are signed up, it has a lot of information there, including the itinerary, any travel documents you might need. For Costa Rica, you don't, so that makes it a lot easier. It also has the accommodations if you just want to see more photos or links to their website. There's also information about currency and tipping. Another interesting one is reading and videos. So some books that we recommend about like the history of Costa Rica or environmentalism in Costa Rica. So it's always nice to get some information before visiting a country. But again, there's so much that you can look into here, but we also have like myself as a coordinator that you can ask questions to get more information as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the go-to resource. We often tell our travelers, like, please bookmark this because it really has all information that you need in order to get yourself prepared. The packing lists are amazing. Layla's always updating it depending on feedback we get from groups. So yeah, amazing resource that we can provide you with. And if anybody wants access to it ahead of time because you're trying to still decide between which trip, that's a great tool as well, beyond just the itineraries that we'll send you. So I'm going to open it up for questions for the last few minutes here. So while you think about your questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll address them as they come in. But I just like to go over what's all included in the trip experience because I think that's often a popular question. So, of course, you can expect a local bilingual guide to be with you throughout the whole trip and have that consistency of sort of one main person. But of course, there will be step-on guides that will provide, more context to the places that we're visiting. All of your lodging, the accommodations, meals, and clean drinkable water. If there's ever not a meal included, it's very clearly written on the itinerary, so you know what to expect. But in any of our itineraries, and I'm kind of talking more in general here for Discover Core trips, but it often makes sense for the itinerary to have you on your own. If there's sort of many options, and we allow you to kind of do your own thing. But for any trip, that will be very clearly indicated. But you can expect almost all meals. And of course, clean drinkable water. We ask you to bring a reusable water bottle and you can just fill up at any time. Your transportation, to and from the airport and everything in between. That includes also the admissions and entrance fees to anything that we have advertised on the itinerary. And then all of our trips also include medical insurance, which includes evacuation insurance. So that's that's not extra, that's included in the price that you see online. What is not included is flights. So I love to shout out that we do have a third-party provider known as Wings Travel. They're actually a full concierge service. So if you were considering one of the trips, and trip dates, you could contact Wings and say, I'm considering this trip with Discover Corps. Can you get me a flight quote from New York or wherever you're departing from? And that's free to get those sort of quotes from them. So it's a great resource to use. You don't have to book through them, but it is a service that we pay for you to be able to access. Additionally, traveler's insurance. That's anything leading up to your trip that would kind of prevent you from going. We know that our trips are a huge investment. And so traveler's insurance is something that we always encourage people to look into. But that is not included. And we do have a recommended company as well that we always let you know ahead of time. Additionally, visas. So luckily, Costa Rica for Americans doesn't have, a required visa. But if anything changes, that's something Layla's constantly, aware of and would let you know. And then vaccines as well. Additionally, that's not required for Costa Rica, but for any travel, we do recommend you see a travel doctor and kind of work on a case-by-case basis for yourself. And then laundry service, room service, tipping, that's all not included. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. I don't see any right now in the chat, but would love to hear your thoughts. But I also just want to thank Priscilla and Layla for being here today and providing your insights. Priscilla, it's so amazing to hear you give the overviews. You can really tell that you've been doing this for a while, and so grateful that we have the opportunity to have you on today's call to give that overview. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you again, Priscilla.
Thank you for having me, and I hope that we can meet. And everybody who's online, don't be afraid. Make sure to review the different trips. Think about, what you're looking for, what you would like to do with your family, or if you're by yourself, you can join a group also, right? Or if you have a friend, you can travel with your friend. And there's options for everybody. So if you want a little bit more relaxation, if you want, to have all the activities, nature, adventure, and maybe one day of volunteer, or if you want to give a little bit more back with the Sea Turtle program. So there's something that we have to offer that can suit you perfectly. So just make sure to go over the programs, and we will be very happy to have you here in Costa Rica.
Oh, amazing. Muchísimas gracias, Priscilla. And yes, if anybody has any questions that you think of later after, this webinar, please feel free to email us, and we'll be more than thrilled to be able to answer any of your questions. I see one coming in here actually. What are the type of insects that we might have to watch out for? I can answer that one, Priscilla, but I'll let you take it.
No, it's okay. Actually, well, if you're concerned about bugs, because a lot of people, think that when they travel to these kind of countries, they're gonna be with a lot of bugs around themselves all the time. Let me tell you, that's not the case. Everything is very open in Costa Rica. Of course, we have insects, all different kinds of insects. You have we have flies, we have beetles, we have grasshoppers, we have bees, we have wasps, we have everything, but they're not, in Costa Rica, the large group of mammals are bats. And a lot of these bats eat the insects. A lot of the restaurants and hotels are open. And the rooms will always have a screen. And you will notice that everybody always tell me how surprised they are to see that everything is open, right? And mosquitoes are not that aggressive. Insects are not that aggressive. But of course, if you're very sensitive, or you can always take care, right? Spraying, insect repellent, bug repellent. There are some places, especially when it's raining a little bit, that you can feel the insects a little bit more, and we will always alert you, but it's not as aggressive as you think they are. If your question is heading towards that way. But if you love insects, oh yeah, you have them all.
Yeah, you can see them in the night tour. That's for sure when they come alive a lot more. During the day, I feel like they stay in hiding, but the night it might become a lot more active. And then yeah, with mosquitoes, and I think that's where the question was really coming from, was concern around mosquitoes. I think, in my experience in traveling, in many different countries, I don't think the mosquitoes are as intense. Costa Rica, has this kind of well-balanced environment, like Priscilla was mentioning, with, some of the bats that eat and kind of control it. But of course, it is something that I think anywhere, especially in the evenings, it's like long pants, repellent. During the day, though, they're usually pretty manageable. The only times where it might become a little bit more intense if you are doing sort of, the night tour where you might want to spray extra, or if you're going into a certain nature hike, maybe when you're visiting Jungle Mike and you're more tucked in nature, you might be wanting to use some more extra repellent. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't think it's something that you need to be concerned about. I've been living in Costa Rica for quite a long time, and it's been very manageable. Um, let's see here. We have one more question. What's the highest temperature we might encounter? So that's kind of a difficult question because it will depend on the timing of the year, right, Priscilla? But I don't know if you want to give them a sort of
Yes, of
baseline.
course. Well, in Costa Rica, we have our weather is very different than yours, right? I imagine everybody here is from the United States. Here we have the rainy season that is from May to November. So right now is the rainy season in Costa Rica. And the rainy season doesn't mean that it's raining 24/7 and that there's no sun. That's something that a lot of people think, that the rainy season is like pouring rain all the time, and it's not like that. We have a lot of microclimates in Costa Rica. I just came from the Caribbean side of Costa Rica that it was super sunny, into San Jose that is just 3 hours away and it's raining a little bit more. So these changes you get in the country. During the dry season, that is from December to April, and depending on where you are, temperature can really be, for example, if you are in the sea turtle program, that is in Guanacaste province, which is the dry tropical vegetation. That is the only area in Costa Rica where we do have like a very defined difference between the rainy and the dry season, and where we have a little bit higher temperatures that can be close to like 35 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius, that I think that's close to 90 Fahrenheit, something like that, in Guanacaste area, and especially during the dry season, that is from December to April. But it's very hot during the day, and then during the night, temperature cools down a little bit. And depending on if you are in the mountains, you get more breeze. If you are at the beach, you get more breeze, right? So during the day, you can get these changes during the day. But I will say that the hottest temperatures will be like 90s, and especially during the dry season of Costa Rica, and especially in Guanacaste province. In the other
Yeah.
provinces of Costa Rica, it is very warm, it is very humid, right? But we have areas that are higher in elevation. For example, the family volunteer goes to Monteverde, which is the cloud forest, like 5,000 feet above sea level. It's very windy over there. It's cooler temperature during nighttime. So in one trip, every time you change location, the conditions are gonna vary. So you're gonna feel it all.
Yeah, that's perfect, Priscilla. Yeah, and if anybody um needs any sort of more clarifiers on the travel portal, which we were mentioning as well, we always include like weather guidelines alongside the packing list, so you get, a good idea. But I do think, expect warm temperatures. Living in Costa Rica now for quite some time, I almost forget what season it is or what time of the year it is, because I'm used to being Canadian, where we have very distinct seasons and temperature changes. But in Costa Rica, there is that sort of overall level of consistency, with some days being hotter than others. But definitely expect sort of like a humid, warm environment for the most part. But given that there's so much nature around as well, it can cool down quite nicely, and the shade cover definitely helps. So yeah, thank you for everyone for your wonderful questions and for joining in. We got some thank yous here in the chat as well. So shout out Priscilla. Thank you so much for all your helpful advice and information. And we hope to see you in Costa Rica, and just hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll tune in next time. Thanks,
Thank you,
Priscilla.
everyone. Bye.
Ciao, ciao everyone. Oh, here I do see tips recommended. So I will answer that right before I hop off here. On the travel portal, we do give tipping instructions as well. So just know that that's a resource that we can send you if you do have specific sort of questions around that. Tipping is so personal, but all of our operations in Costa Rica, we do give those recommendations. So I think, let me pull it up here while I have everybody still. Let's see. I'm going to actually share my screen so you can see how I actually get to it. So here's the travel portal. The side here, you can see all the different trips. And if we go to, let's go to the Eco Rainforest Adventure, we have currency and tipping guidelines. So here you can see it's $6 to $10 per day per person for the guide and 3 to 5 per day per person for the driver. So again, this is just a suggested amount. I'm pretty sure it's the same for each. Yeah. So these are the recommended amounts. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, thank you again for tuning in, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day and we'll talk soon. Bye.